Azam Part 201. The refusal by the Congress to induce the League ministers on any but the harshest terms had two other crucial consequences, I must say. I beg your pardon. First, UP's Muslim politicians were then forced to rethink both their political strategy and their objectives. As briefly examined earlier, recognizing that the Congress would not deal with them at the provincial level, the Muslim leaders of UP turned to Jinnah and the All India Muslim League for that vitally needed pan-Indian Muslim solidarity, only which they reasoned would extract the needed concession from the Congress at both the national and provincial level. By late 1937, the Congress stand had discredited all the coalition efforts of Zaman and Nawab Ismail Khan, and after this there was no real chance for any provincial accommodation. Hereafter, Jinnah began to hold out for all India settlements of the communal problem and to insist upon a formal recognition by the Congress of the Muslim League as the only all-India organization representing the Muslims. He reasoned that unless his sole spokesman in the League would not concede even that which was League's reasonable due, and this very Jinnah and Zaman, who had so far maintained an anti-zamindar stance during the period that they were in formal alliance with the Congress, now changed back and accepted most of the Muslims notables of the UP, both for funds and for the sake of Muslim solidarity. So what it stands here, the congressional leaders were the separatists. The congressional leaders forced Zaman, forced Quaid Muhammad Ali Jinnah, forced the Muslim factions to be excluded and seek a separate national status. On the other hand side, the Muslims had been the forebearers of the flag bearers of the unity, and they wanted unity, but it were the congressional leaders who were under the effect of their majority craze, did not consider anyone at all, and they in fact forced Muslims to seek for their own separate status. So Congress is to be blamed for it. The Congress was in office for over 2 years. The general impression of these years amongst the Muslims was not at all favorable to the Congress regime. Irrespective of whether all the instances quoted by the League were true or false, a general feeling among the Muslims of all classes was that Hindu Raj had arrived. There was another and a very serious consequence, having directly experienced this lack of effectiveness of separate electorates or even weighted representation as a means for attaining executive authority or even a check upon it. UP's Muslim politicians now began to look for a formulation that would more effectively get them access to the political office. If the limitations of a minority status had to be repudiated, yet effective voice achieved, then what was that to be? It is from this search that the concept of the parity eventually got birth. There must be, the reasoning went, political effective parity between the majority and a minority, and this was a must. Irrespective of numbers also, despite all the theories and the logic of elected majority in a democracy, for only parity could get them needed voice. Therefore, only such a claim would now be appropriate for representatives of a nation as Jinnah claimed Muslims of India to be. There was yet another and a lasting consequence of this decision by the Congress.